On this episode of Rust, Rivets and Regrets, we take a monumental step backwards. And we get to evict some mice from a bell housing. Stick around. Welcome back, everyone. On the last episode we talked about the pinion for the starting motor having engagement issues with the flywheel. I have had a problem with the pinion that engages the gas pony motor to the diesel engine. Basically what you need to do is lift up on this lever and it pulls the pinion into the ring gear, and then there's a clutch lever here that connects the two. And what it's been doing is, if you look down inside, you can see that is the pinion, and then this lever here, if I can get it to go, should come forward. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Should come forward and push the pinion into the ring gear and lock it with the over center clutch. The problem is that little finger that you see is supposed to be pushing on the tip of the pinion and not on the side of the pinion. And I think what happened is at some point in time there's a rod that runs through here. The machine was apart and somebody reassembled it wrong, or they took this lever apart and that rod was able to slide back enough that it fell out of the mounting hole that it's supposed to sit in. In any event, the only way to fix it is to split the machine in half. And I came to the realization, engine's got to come out. So on this episode, that's what we're going to do. We're going to yank the engine out, and we're going to try to find out what's going on inside that housing and see if we can correct the issue. Now, these engines are kind of built as an assembly where the radiator stays with the engine, the pony motor stays with the flywheel housing. So it all just kind of comes out as a unit. So I hope that it's not going to be that bad. We've got a linkage to disconnect, a fuel line, and on the other side we've got a temperature probe and an oil pressure line. Outside of that, just nuts and bolts to take off. How hard could it be? Now we're going to get started with what appears to be the simplest, and that's this linkage that goes up to the cab for the hand throttle. Cotter pin to remove here. There's another one underneath the cab. With any bit of luck, it'll all come apart. And because I'm cheap, I'm going to hang on to this stuff. Now we'll do the same thing underneath the cab, if I can reach it. Here. Let's put that back where you can see it. Neat. And put that aside. Probably should clean it and paint it when we get it apart. I think we're going to do that. Now we'll bring you around to the other side. Can you see okay? Perfect. So this is a temperature probe that says coolant temperature, and then this here is a steel line that goes to the temperature or the oil pressure gauge in the cab. So both of those are going to have to be disconnected also. So looking at these lines, there's a termination point right here. This one up here is kind of fugly, so I don't want to touch it, it might leak. But that one looks fairly new, so I'm going to try to undo it there. And when I followed the temp line down, it's already been cut. So I think I'm going to leave it the way it is so I don't drain the coolant out of it. And I have a new gauge and sensor which is planned to go in later anyways. We'll just leave that alone for now. Should take care of that. Now it's just a matter of doing all the bell housing bolts and the mounting bolts. In the industry that I work in, linking two wrenches together like this would get you in a lot of trouble. There are hazards that go with it. Like my initial risk assessment of the work that I'm doing and pushing towards a sharp edge, linking two tools together, it's all bad stuff. So by no means do what I'm doing. That's not going to work. Probably going to need a socket and a bar for those. I'll be right back. I have returned from the Crusades and I have brought a socket and extension. Yes, we have succeeded. Oh, it's tight. Tight like a tiger. There's one. All right, moved around to the other side, and basically we continue where we left off. That's all of them. I have to pull the hood off so we can get at the lifting eyes, and then there's 2 motor mounts that need to be removed, and it should be ready to lift off. Bird poo on you. Well, shoot. Right to the basement. I'm going to need a pipe wrench for that. So, in the meantime, let's get it. I hope you guys can see okay. Pause for a moment to reflect on my life decisions. Didn't want to make enough anymore. Now we gotta undo those motor mounts. See if these want to come off of here. That's one. There's the other. Got a chain hooked on the front. Check the oil. No beads, please. No beads, please. So clean. Haven't used this since the last time I unrolled the air compressor. Ready for rock and roll, but anything's possible. It's warming up. I'll move you guys over to the other side of the machine. And that is that. How hard can it be, right? So it's on the ground. I'm going to say that it was basically the limit of what that could lift. Quick look shows a lot of mouse house. We've got little furry friends have made homes in places where they're not supposed to be. But here's where the issue is that we need to fix. And this rod here is supposed to go into that hole there. But as you can see, it's kind of bent, which means that when you go to lift up on that lever, it's just banging into the side here. And the only way for it to work is to rotate it so that that hole lines up. If I can do this. But then it kind of misses the pinion. This is supposed to push on the end here, and clearly has been missing for quite some time. So this needs to be repaired, straightened it out, and then this will have to be hard faced, built back up because it's worn it all down. And then any damage that is incurred on this thing will have to be corrected too, because it's been chewing on the side of it as it spins. I mean, it's not a terrible thing, but it's hard to get at to fix. So hence the engine coming out. But there is an upside to all of this. I now have amazing access to clean the center section and paint all in here. So that's a good thing, right? Right? Oh, more mouse house. I guess I better cover that bearing up because the weather's starting to turn and we're gonna get rain. So let me do that. So next step is to remove the mouse house. I've got a filter mask on and an air compressor, so let's get to it. Starting to rain. I think this is where we're going to end the episode for now. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.